If you're a citizen threatened by immigrants, you just didn't work hard enough. The system is designed for you to succeed, especially if you are a white person. If you are a white American citizen who is threatened by immigrants, legal or illegal, you didn't work hard enough. I'm sorry, you failed. And if you think immigrants took your job or your kid's job, I'm sorry, again, they didn't work hard enough. The system of America is designed to support American citizens, and I guarantee any rebuttal that you have against that to disprove it circulates right on back to capitalism and billionaires.
It's about $250,000 to $300,000 worth of revenue.
Just
Left to right. Yeah. It's about $250,000 to $300,000 worth of revenue. Just
left to right.
Yeah, which is one thing, but it's also lost revenue for the workers that would have been able to pick them had they been here.
Oregon farmer Ian Chandler says about half his usual crew didn't show up this season, leaving him scrambling to backfill dozens of positions.
You're calling them, I assume, individually
Yes.
and saying,
Yes.
what's going on?
Yes.
And
so
what are they telling you?
Well, in the beginning of the season, it coincided, unfortunately, with a lot of really strong immigration enforcement down in Southern California, where our workforce comes from. And that kind of had a chilling effect on people wanting to move.
While Ian says his workers are hired with what seemed to be a valid ID and work papers, fear of ICE raids kept many of them from traveling north.
Ándale, manitas. 5 minutes and you're already crying?
Really, this climate here is best served for cherries.
Are any of them still salvageable or not?
No, there's not really anything you can do with them at this point.
You've got more than 30 acres of this farm with rotting fruit. I mean, these are cherries that at one point were pretty appetizing, but right now are more than 2 weeks past their prime.
It's about $250,000 to $300,000 worth of revenue.
Just
Left to right. Yeah, which is one thing, but it's also lost revenue for the workers that would have been able to pick them had they been here.
Oregon farmer Ian Chandler says about half his usual crew didn't show up this season, leaving him scrambling to backfill dozens of positions.
You're calling them, I assume, individually
Yes.
and saying,
Yes.
what's going on?
Yes. And so
what are they telling you?
Well, in the beginning of the season, it coincided, unfortunately, with a lot of really strong immigration enforcement down in Southern California, where our workforce comes from. And that kind of had a chilling effect on people wanting to move.
While Ian says his workers are hired with what seemed to be a valid ID and work papers, fear of ICE raids kept many of them from traveling north this year. To understand why, we head south to Central California.
So we're hoping that one of those farm working families will actually talk to us here and give us a sense of what life is like in hiding. I think you're good. No names or anything there.
Behind closed doors, making dinner with her mom, we meet Lisa.
Like every single summer, we will go out there. My parents or myself will pick cherries. But this year, we decided to stay home just to be safe.
Because you're living essentially as though you're going to be targeted at any moment.
Yes.
You've got to buy food.
Yes.
You've got to go shopping. You do leave for that.
Yes, I have to. I mean, someone has to in the house.
Lisa's here under DACA, a program that gives temporary protection to people brought to the U.S. as children. Her 3 young kids, all U.S. citizens.
This is my new avatar.
You can tell they get kind of bored, like cooped up inside, spending hours in front of the TV and on their phones, tossing a frisbee with himself.
It says life is good.
Life is good.
No playgrounds, no summer sun. She's afraid of getting picked up by immigration while out, and the family getting separated. She's even thinking about homeschooling this fall, just to keep them close.
Are they
Stay
bored?
focused. All the time.
Are you bored?
Oh yeah, all the time. We love the outsides. Up there in Oregon, we used to go to the waterfalls, all those beautiful places that they have. It was so much fun for our kids and for ourselves too. Since they're not physically active, my middle child, she was diagnosed with high cholesterol, vitamin D deficiency.
Because she's not in the sun as much.
Yes.
Lights stay off to keep cool, shades down for privacy. Her husband and dad, undocumented, but working to keep money coming in. As they're out,
Is that your phone?
Yes, that's my phone.
Go ahead
I'm
if you
sorry.
want to get it.
every alert from her phone sparks a brief panic.
It's okay, I'll call him back.
But it's her mom she thinks about most, still picking crops in her 60s.
I would like to point that out. My mom is not a criminal. And it hurts. Sorry. Back in 2020, when the whole pandemic happened, my parents were being considered essential workers, and now they have to hide. Those essential workers, they have to stay at home for their safety.
Have you put in your mind that, okay, if I can't leave, or at least I don't feel safe leaving my home, you're rushing to the grocery store just to get back as quickly as you can. Your kids, you don't feel comfortable leaving. I mean, they're all in a room watching TV in the middle of the day. Has there been a point in your mind where you're going to turn to your partner and your parents and say, this is not living, we got to go somewhere else?
I told my mom that, and she feels that this is just a phase, that if we just got to hang in there, be hopeful, and it's going to pass.
Back north in Oregon, farm manager Manuel Nava also noticed several no-shows this year.
Last year, we probably have probably 5 families coming from California. They do the picking, and this year we missed them.
They didn't show up.
They don't show up.
It's interesting to see how some folks operate differently within that fear. Some decide to stay in hiding. Others continue working. One woman, 75 years old, and determined to keep working even once the hour has stopped, asking, can I just collect 2 more buckets? ¿Pero difícil?
No tanto. Ese trabajo.
She says she doesn't find the work too difficult compared to jobs she had in Guatemala. Workers here earn about $5 a bucket and average anywhere from $15 to $35 an hour.
I think there's a perception that it's under the table, that you've got a big box of cash somewhere and you're paying them, but that's not really how it works.
Nope.
How does it work?
We hire them just like any other employee. We have an I-9 and W-4 filled out for every employee, and run payroll every week, and they get checks.
Hello everyone, once again welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm your host Hilary, and in today's video it's all about this white American lady who came out and schooled all the white folks who claimed that the black folks came and took their jobs. They say that the black immigrants, all the illegal immigrants in their countries, came and took their jobs away from them. Now, in this case, she schooled them and lectured them, saying that they didn't work hard enough. So, no any illegal immigrant, no any black folk came and took their jobs. And I might just as well as agree with her, because if they knew that they could do these jobs, if they knew they were capable of doing these jobs, if they knew they are in a position to do these works that they have been giving to the black folks, well, I mean, their farms wouldn't be this empty. We've seen them, farmers run on huge losses, and let me call them the MAGA farmers, the MAGA supporters, those who voted in these fellow Donald Trump, the current president of the United States. Well, in this case, a lot of them, they have incurred a big losses, huge losses in their farms. We've seen their farms get ruined. There is nobody to pick their fruits in the farm. They cannot even do that themselves. And now we have some say that they need the black folks back. They say that Donald Trump betrayed them. He hasn't been doing what he promised them to do. But, well, what do you expect? You voted against your own will. I mean, the well-being of your countries. You were so selfish and so racist to a point that you didn't think of the consequences of your actions. And now at this point, you are trying to argue and feel the heat from your end. And what I love about the black folks is that they have decided that they will not come back to work in those farms. They were dragged out with disrespectful, forceful. Some of them were injured just because of doing these jobs that no white folk can manage to do, and that's why we've seen them run on losses. But what I have to acknowledge is that not all of the white folks were against, were supporting these deportations by their president. Some of them really understand the vital duty that, or rather role that the black people and these migrants have been playing in their countries. Well, this story of this white woman reminded me of a story that I once read sometimes back, and I'd love, or rather, I'd feel nice to share this story with you. And now, this story is about the cotton fields and slavery. What I have to say is that, or rather, I'll just read this out for you. Now, it says this: cotton was one of the most important crops in southern United States during the 18th and 19th century. The invention of cotton gin in 1793 made cotton production extremely profitable, leading to a huge demand for labor in cotton fields. Now, remember, when there is a huge demand of these cottons, it also demanded for a higher number of slaves. And this is why we had cases of slavery. Now, just to talk about this slavery thing, it says this: enslaved African Americans. Remember this word, African Americans. They were forced to work long hours in brutal conditions, picking cotton by hand. Now, I think this is just one of the similarities with what's happening currently in the United States. We've seen the MAGA farmers go on these huge losses because they don't have anybody to pick their crops in the farms. With the low wages, little pay, working long hours, and we've been witnessing these things. But the black folks and these people you call illegal immigrants have been doing these jobs without complaining. Now, life in the cotton fields was grueling. Workers faced extreme heat, physical punishment, and constant surveillance. The system was foundational to the southern economy, but was built on immense human suffering and oppression. This is the same thing that we're still witnessing. Like I just said, low wages, working long hours, and constant surveillance. Some of the employers use harsh words, harsh languages on these farm workers, the people that are working for them. Now, cotton cultivation was indeed a central part of the economy and social structure in the southern and helped fuel the tensions that eventually led to civil war. Well, there is something else we need to talk about, and that's the after emancipation, sharecropping, and tenant farming. Let me read something for you about this. Following the abolition of slavery after the Civil War, the South's economic and social system didn't transform immediately. I mean, I think that's the same thing that's happened currently because we've seen Trump trying to regret, and also the MAGA supporters, they have been regretting. They thought that they would cope with the conditions that's happening over there, but right now they are facing the heat on themselves. They are paying the price. Now, formerly enslaved people sought freedom and land, but many ended up trapped in a system called sharecropping. Now, for those of us who doesn't understand what this sharecropping is, I'll just also read something for you. Sharecropping was a form of tenant farming where landowners were allowed, or rather allowed tenant farmers, often freed African Americans, to use the land in return for a share of the crop. It often resulted in a cycle of debts and poverty because the sharecroppers had to buy supplies on credit, and the credits were being given on a very high interest, making it almost impossible to get ahead. Now, this is just what we are seeing the fellows go through, or rather paying the price. The black immigrants, those people that are being called illegal immigrants. We've had others from Mexico, not just in Africa. We've had a lot of people being called illegal immigrants in the United States. Well, these people chose to work wholeheartedly in your farms. You are giving them low pay, low wages. They were working for long hours, but in the end, you called them illegal immigrants. You called them criminals. You called them rapists. Somebody who has worked for you. You know them at a very personal level. But since there is this movement that terms a lot of all immigrants as illegal immigrants, you side with them. Now you voted against your own favors. You thought you were voting in your favors, but right now you're totally paying the price. So guys, tell me what you think of this video. Tell me what you think of the message that I've just read for you, and also what the white lady said about white folks not working hard enough, so that they just don't have the right to say that all the black immigrants, all the illegal immigrants did take away all their jobs. Engage me in the comment section, but also I'd love to encourage you to please consider giving these videos a thumbs up, comment, share, and also subscribe to my channel. I'm with you, and I'd love for you to stick with me in this journey. So I've been your host, Larry, and until we meet again in my next video, peace out and one love.